Well, today we're going to talk about dehydrators and dehydrated foods. There are many uses for dehydrated foods on the Hallelujah diet. One of the reasons I like it is because you can take fresh food, you can dehydrate it, and what you have is a food that keeps, but also has the living enzymes, because what we're doing is we're dehydrating at below 107 degrees Fahrenheit. So you end up with this living food that keeps, and it's a great thing, in some ways even better than fresh. And if you get a dehydrator like the Excalibur food dehydrator like we have here, it has a temperature gauge at the top, so you can ensure that you are not dehydrating above the temperature that's going to kill the enzymes. This one starts at 95, it goes all the way up to 155, and if we set it at 105, Melody, you were telling me earlier that this one is really reliable. It's not going to dehydrate higher than 105.
That's correct. That is right. And at first, I thought about getting a dehydrator, and I noticed people were using them, and I thought, well, am I really going to use this that much? I mean, is it just fruit roll-ups and things like that? I have found your imagination is how far this machine will work.
Really?
I mean, constantly finding ways to make food in here. And the beauty of that is I have food on hand. You know, a lot of times we're in a hurry. You'll run into your house. Well, guess what? I can make some flax crackers in here. In those flax crackers, I can put not only ground flax seeds, but perhaps sunflower seeds or any other kind of seed or nut. I can put in there kale, carrots, bell pepper. I mean, endless amount of vegetables that I can put in my crackers. So actually, if I don't have time to make a salad, I could grab a couple of those crackers and here I go, getting back in my car, taking off wherever I need to go. But I have had a nutritious, living meal. And it's very filling. And not only that, when you make crackers and breads and things like that in there, you actually feel like you're eating cooked food. And you know how we loved cooked food, but we tend to eat too much? We're not eating cooked food. So that's very exciting. Another thing that I love about the Excalibur is we can preserve our harvest. Why is it that all our vegetables seem to come in the summertime, you know? And my father-in-law, he grows tomatoes, and they're the best tomatoes. Well, what am I going to do with this countertop full of tomatoes? Well, one thing that I discovered is that I can actually make dehydrated tomatoes. And what I do is I'm going to let you get those blended tomatoes. All I did was cut up 2 tomatoes. And I'm going to show them how to pour this on this Teflex sheet.
Okay.
And what happens is I dehydrate those overnight, and then you see these little chips coming off. They come off in these little chips like this. And then what I can do is I can store those in a baggie or in a glass bowl in my freezer. And then all throughout the winter, I can take these little chips and sprinkle them on top of my salad. And you would not believe the flavor in these dehydrated tomatoes. You can also put a little bit of basil in there or pepper. I love black pepper, and it is allowed on the Hallelujah diet. So we can put that in this blender when we blend up our tomatoes. There's no water. It's just tomatoes. So, Scott, I'm going to show you how to do this. You just pour this on here.
Just right in the center?
Right in the center. Okay. That's good. That's good. I believe that's going to be enough. I just swirl this around. You could put just a hair more, not much. There you go. Now there we have it on our tray, and we did use this Teflex sheet, this little, it's sort of plasticky filling, but it's called a Teflex sheet, so that it didn't go through the mesh, because there is a mesh screen in here, as you can see. This comes with the machine. The Teflex sheets need to be bought separately from the machine, and you will need some of those for the more moist product that you put in. Then I just slide this right inside. It's very easy to get inside. Cover it up. Turn it on, go to bed at night. By the next morning, I have crispy tomato flakes.
And to make this recipe in particular, what temperature do you set it at?
Well, I set it on mine, and it says 105, and it won't go above that.
Okay, so that's one of the 105 that we were talking about.
Yes, this is living product. And another thing that is so exciting, too, is we can use it as a warmer. If you ever get anything cold, perhaps you make some burgers or something in there, living burgers that made out of nuts. You know I'm talking about plant food, right? Okay, if you do that, okay, and you make a bunch up, well then you can put them back in there to warm them back up, and they taste like cooked food again. So it's just wonderful. I just love this. It's something that I wasn't sure, and now I use it constantly. So tell me what you do, Scott, with it.
Well, I know my wife is very creative, as you are, with the dehydrator. And something she does is she takes kale leaves, And it's not just for juicing and for salads, but what she does is she takes a nutritional yeast and a bunch of other ingredients, cashews is a main ingredient, and she rubs it into the leaves of the kale leaves, and she'll put it in the dehydrator, and you end up with kale chips, which is much the texture and consistency of these flaky tomato bits you've got here. So, and that's a good alternative for potato chips, and the recipe is actually online at hacres.com, and you can go to the recipe section, and there you can find, it's called kale chips, cheesy kale chips by Jody, that's what it is.
And make a lot because they will get gone in a hurry.
That's right, yeah.
People love them.
Yes, yes, and you can find that recipe there. You can find the flax crackers that Melody was talking about. The flax bread that is in the magazine that we showed you is there as well.
Yeah, the magazine has flax bread, so you don't have to use grain bread. You can actually make some bread to eat out of ground flax, and that could be your daily serving of flax to get your omega-3 fatty acids.
Sounds great. Thank you, Melody.
Thank you.
Have fun with your dehydrator.
I love it.